Harsh, please
So
present
good
the
morning.
banner one.
Okay.
Harsh, the banner is, I guess, it got mixed up.
Okay. So good morning, everyone. This today's workshop is based on problem solving and ideation, design thinking process. So being an engineer, it is our primary to identify and solve the problems that exist all around us. Today's seminar is solely dedicated to design the thinking process of solving problem and convert ideas to scalable solutions. The Startup Club by MCKV Institute of Engineering is an entrepreneurship based club for the students of MCKV Institute of Engineering. So, with a member of strength of 500 members, the club envisions to establish startups from scratch. In the process, we strive to gain insights from industry stalwarts by learning from their experience through various seminars and associated events. So now I request Dr. Joydeep Banerjee, convener, convener of IIC Committee MCKVI, to introduce our speaker for the session, Dr. Shyama Prosad Chowdhury.
Good morning to everyone, and good morning to all participants, our startup club members, IIC presidents, all respected staff and faculty members who are present, and our other team members. Today's session will be conducted by Dr. Shyama Prosad Chowdhury. So before starting our session, let me give a brief introduction about Dr. Chowdhury. Dr. Shyama Prosad Chowdhury is a passionate technologist and presently working in the domain of cognitive solution at IBM. He has earned his PhD degree from Queen's University Belfast, UK in the domain of computer vision. He has published more than 20 international technical research articles in various journals and conference proceedings, and a recipient of 7 international and 4 national research and programming awards. He teaches in different graduate and postgraduate programs. He made a technology startup successful starting from scratch. Also led a group of 150 plus billion technologists as a deputy general manager at Samsung R&D. Dr. Chowdhury has expertise in various technical and research domains like image processing, computer vision, data analytics, big data management, machine learning, video surveillance systems, intelligent transportation system, computer graphics and simulation, intelligent security systems, civil aviation signaling, etc. So Dr. Chowdhury has vast experience in different technical and research domain. And welcome Dr. Chowdhury in this session, and his expertise in different domain will enrich us. I would like to request Dr. Chowdhury to take over the session and start the program. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Chowdhury. Please, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Banerjee. So it was today is a fantastic day, and we can start with this discussion. I teaches in many technical subjects. Design thinking is I shouldn't say it is only a technical part. Design thinking is a process that actually excels our whatever we do. Um, I was first introduced with the design thinking more than a decade ago. At that time, I was pursuing my PhD, and in UK, so I was going through that process of learning uh, many approaches, how to solve the problems and like that. So one of that was the design thinking I was first introduced that time. Then I used to work in Samsung. In Samsung, the culture was we used to go through the design thinking process each and every day. Whatever we used to design, it was through this design thinking process and that methodologies we used to follow. That time, you will find that most of us we prefer to use that the products. Those products are not just evolved in a day. Each and everything has a process, and that process is design thinking process. I'll come to that one by one. And right now, I'm associated with IBM. In IBM also, we are very much for our customers. We are very much focused into this design thinking process. One interesting thing that I'll be sharing that this design thinking process, it is a very agile process. It is something that we cannot just say that we have to follow something 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. In each, so that the based learning of the design thinking process, what I have, it is that each and every organization has its own way to look into the problem and have that design thinking process. I'll be discussing all of them one by one. Let us first start with the statement. It was all of he's a hero to all of us. Our hero is he actually changed the world, the technologist, we believe. All the technologists, we work in that current era of technology, and we think it is he is that one of our pioneer. He is to us a god, right? From his perspective, design is not just what it looks and feels like. Design is how it works. So all of us, we have, many of us, we have heard of the design thinking. Many of us, we may have done some workshop in design thinking. But design, what we think that design is means we'll be doing something, some decoration, and that design will look good and it will make people happy. No, it is not the design. Design is how it works. If you touch a MacBook or if you touch iPhone, you'll find that whenever you are touching, you are feeling some different feels. That is the design thinking. So how you will interact with the object, how you will interact with your design, that is the design thinking process. By the way, just sharing these PPTs, I realized that the screen got enlarged. So if you face any problem in visualizing that screen, please let me know, I'll correct. So can you see that screen completely? Hello? Can you see my? Can you see the screen completely?
No, sir. No, sir.
Huh? Sorry? Can you see the screen? No?
No, sir. No, sir.
Oh dear. Um,
No, sir, I'll request to stop
Can you
the
see my
screening and
Can you see
like,
the screen completely?
yeah, sir, it would
No,
be
sir.
great. It would be great if you
No, sir.
start again.
Huh? Sorry.
If you,
Can you see the screen
yeah,
now?
right now I can see
No,
that.
sir. No,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Oh dear. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, it is showing now.
Can you see the full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Oh, sorry. So this screen is visible, right? So if I move over through the presentation, it is now visible. So
Yes, sir.
I'm sharing that the first that was the problem solving and ideation process. So it is you can see, right?
Yes, sir.
You can see the pictures of the Steve Jobs, right?
Yeah.
In the screen.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means I'm fine. Thank you. So it was that our hero, he told us design is not just what it looks and feels like. Design is how it works, what I was actually describing. Can you see my full screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So today, what we will do, we'll discuss that what it is. We'll discuss that what the design thinking is. We'll discuss that four main pillars of the design thinking. We'll share the mindset to welcome design thinking process. We'll more focus on the empathy map, and which is actually the one of the main pillar of the design thinking process. So these few things we'll do, and what we will not do today, as it is an online session and we don't have all these equipments available to each of the participants, so we cannot practice the design thinking process. So let me tell you, design thinking is not something technical that I'll be teaching you. It has to be a very much fully workshop and in-house session. If it is not, it has to be a fully interactive session, 100% interactive session. But today we have that limited resources to conduct such a workshop. And as the time is passing very fast, we are in that some awkward pandemic situation, but that it is not like the time is in the same position. Time is moving. So what best we can do, we can give you an idea of what the design thinking is, and whenever I have requested Dr. Banerjee too, that whenever we'll get the chance to conduct the workshop, I would be very happy to conduct that with all of you.
Sure, sir, sure.
And it is actually, I was in that part of the design thinking process for a decade, and each and everywhere I love it. I like it very much. But today I'm very much sorry to you, all of you. I apologize that we cannot conduct that workshop. However, I'll be trying to give you that feelings and what is that learning out of the design thinking process we expect, so that you will get two glimpses of fresh air from the design thinking process. Let me start then. In design thinking, there are four pillars, we say. So very first one is that empathy. Design thinking process, it actually tells that we have some challenges and how to overcome the challenge, overcome that particular challenge all together. All together comprises of you who is actually participating in that design thinking process. Then it requires all the stakeholders to participate and share their views. How it is possible? So, say for an example, I have a problem that that I need to have a cell phone. That is, I can just hold in my palm, and that cell phone will never fall out of my palm. it will always it will stick with my palm. That is my requirement. I say it. And when we all the friends we say we sit together, we discuss that how is it possible. We come up with idea. Look, this is my requirement. And one of my friend, if he started to tell it like, oh dear, what you so you need everything, aren't you happy what you have? Yes, I am happy. And that, however, that is also that requirement. It is good to have. So the first thing we have to have that empathy of that what is that actual requirement. It doesn't matter that whether we can solve it completely. Nothing is already solved, right? We every day we live with that different challenges, different requirements. So everything is not solved for us. What is actually solved? That yes, we can think more. We can think what we can achieve next. So that is that the whole process. I'm not saying that uh, design thinking one punch. It is a process. It is not a one day or one job or something like that. Whenever that the requirements or challenges or problem comes, we try to approach with all the best possible ways out with us. So the very first thing requires the empathy. I'll be explaining several rules one by one, but first thing that actually make us more human than what we are is empathy. That is the first pillar and the most and the strongest pillar, I'll say, most important. Then it comes that collaboration. Each and everyone to solve a problem. This world. Hello. Sorry, some noise, some came. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah.
The person is registered to please type unmuted.
Sir, are you the host?
Please mute. Hello. Please, roll number 29. Hello. AIML. Please mute
Sir, you
us.
can mute.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Some noise came. It happens. Don't worry. It happens to all of us. Don't worry. Okay. Sorry, just a second. Can you see my screen? Hello.
No, sir. Not yet.
No, sir.
Okay. Can you see my screen? No.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Can you see my full screen?
Yes, sir.
So in design thinking, that what we were actually telling, it was that one of the most prominent and that pillar is that empathy, where we listen to others and we we do that process of design thinking in some collaboration. In this collaboration, it so when that this when we solve a particular problem, um it is not that one particular person is solving a particular problem for a particular person. It is not one. We didn't, none of us, we made this world so beautiful with our own effort. Rather, it was a collaboration that all of us, we made this world so beautiful. And in the design thinking process, we follow the same. It is a collaboration. In design thinking, there is a, like when we discuss among ourselves, we say it's like, yeah, what you told, it's fantastic, but this one we could have also tried. So how we link these two sentences with but. In design thinking process, we cannot say something like but, or we cannot say something like but why don't we try in this way. Design thinking process, there is nothing, no score for negativity. It is a positive thinking. In design thinking process, we say it like, yes, what you told, that is fantastic, and this is, we may have also tried. In design thinking process, it is all about the inclusion. It is never to say, and whenever we'll be practicing that design thinking process in our workshop, I'll be sharing that, and all of us will understand that it is something that no one's idea, it is something not to give priority or something to no one's idea. And we solve it as a group, and what is our group's idea. That is very important in design thinking. It doesn't matter that whom you are including, but who are there. All together, they make the things best. Suppose in a group, we are solving some technical problem. And you have to remember that who actually developed the MacBook, none of them were the engineers that what we are. It was that beautiful MacBook. It was actually built by someone, that artist, who understands, who knows what is that problem and what is that requirement. We don't in all the laptops, what we sell the processors, we sell the microcontrollers, we sell the IO devices, we sell the few of the HDMI ports, we sell few of the memory sticks, we sell few of the our LCD displays, right, or LED displays. That's not all. You will find that same laptop you can buy in 40,000, and you can buy the same laptop with the same configuration. Believe me, you can buy it in 1,50,000. So what is actually sold? It was not only the technology. It was that collaborative effort. What makes the thing better is not our ego. It's not that, yes, I know that what to be done, what we sell, what actually sells. It is we jointly understand this. For an example, if that one television set is only made for one of us, it cannot be the best. And in that design thinking process, I was when I was in Samsung, I was very much involved in many of the products, many of the mobile phones we used. So I was in the design thinking process of many of them. I'll not name that particular few of this. However, I was very much involved. And you heard about that cricket TV from Samsung and other things. So those were actually my brainchild that time. And it was not by one of us we developed. It was all together, the team, everyone's effort that was put there to build those individual products. In design thinking process, one characteristic is very much required, that it is something lethargy, like, oh, it's enough, okay, leave it now and go it there. It is that, hey man, what is there? Let us move out. That that culture doesn't fit with the design thinking. It is an active. All of us who sits in the classes, I used to do the same, and we don't listen to what the teachers are teaching us, or we don't always think of that how to solve that one. And all of us who actually we show that we don't care, doesn't matter, so what? So those culture that doesn't fit with the design thinking process. This is for little bit decent people. It is not like the so what kind of things attitude. It is a tedious process. Here we have to do a lot of repetitions, a lot of iterations, and as we said, none of the things was just evolved itself, right? None of not so you can remember that the mobile phones 15 years back, it was a completely iteration process, a continuous iteration process. It was continuing, and now what we have, and who knows that in 20 years after that what will happen. And it is possible that all of us, if we think of it, then we can make the things better. So what I told here, in design thinking process, it is not for so what kind of people. It is for the people, decent and moderate people, who knows that we have to work hard. It was not for the lazy people. And in most of the workshops, we say, I start personally that laziness is not tolerated in that design thinking process. It is always the creative people. And so what kind of things just get lost. We do continuous, a tedious process. In design thinking workshop, I used to conduct for two, 3 days, and after 2-3 days, that people says enough is enough. It was even tedious than playing a long marathon few chess games. It is very tedious process. So, what we said about the design thinking, can we see in this picture? And what do you see in this picture? So, people, they are discussing together. One of them is trying to say something or trying to watch something, and people are discussing with them and coming up with a solution. No, it is not the design thinking. Design thinking is something like this. All the people, they don't just talk, they do. Do means with the hands. With our hands, we have to do constant work. That is part of the design thinking. It is not that I have fantastic idea, let me share with you, and now you implement. It was not that kind of attitude. If you can't do, then it is not even that it may not be part of the design thinking process. It is, even if you can do in our hand, we have that our idea to we have to express our ideas. We have to be expressive. Oh, I know I'm very good at it. Let me now relax, and I know at the end of the day I will excel. No, it is not the design thinking process. All of us continuously we have to give whatever the small idea we have because it matters. I'll tell you one example. In one of the design thinking process, it was from that Canadian government. It was the problem, they have the electric line, and in winter, a lot of snow accumulates on top of the electric line and it creates disturbance. So that requirement was how to get rid of snow in winter from the big posts of the electric line. So electric line post, it was actually just to get fully covered with ice. It was no accessible and it creates a malfunction. So you can understand, right? So you can see in that highway side or village side, there is that 20 meters, 30 meters of all these electric transmission poles were there. And think of it, it was fully covered with ice. How it has to be. It was devastating, right? So their problem is to just to get rid of that. And in the ideation session, they came up with a solution that what they will do, they will form honeybees. So honeybees will create that honeycomb there, and it will be full of honey. And the polar bear, they will train the polar bear. Polar bear will get attracted to the honey. So that polar bear will come there and will shake, and that honey will fall down. So what will happen? That bear, with the interest of the honey, that bear will shake the pole. So all the ice will go out, and that bear will get that free honey. It was the idea. It came. So all of us we can feel it is so funny, right? But it was that in the design thinking process, this idea came, and it was not because of that a few people who knows better than others. It was by all the people it came. Then that finally that model was developed, and actually what they did, they heard the helicopters. Helicopters used to come there, and with that with the blower, with the fans of the helicopter fans, they used to move the snows out of those pillars and get rid of the problem. So it is not that something what we are coming out, but it has to be constructive. And they finally recognize that it was because of that first ideation session, where throughout the design thinking process, they came up with the solution that a polar bear will come and will shake the electric post, and the snow will get out of it. It was that set point for the full solution. So in design thinking process, it is a tedious process, and it is not actually something that yes, it is the technical and I know much better than others. It is not for that type of attitude. It is all the people, for the people, and by the people. Right. In design thinking process, so it is that the first pillar I say that it was the empathize, empathy. It was diverging, right? Then it comes the converging, reframe. So all of our empathize ideation, we are reframing and we are converting different ideas out of it. It is again diverging. Then again we are converging by prototyping and testing. So this is the design thinking process. First one, we say the problem space, and from the problem space, from the challenges, we reach to the solution. We go to the solution space. And in that process, it is something zigzag, right? It doesn't matter, but design thinking process, it ensures, if it is conducted successfully, that from all the jumbled up things will lead to a certain point. So in that overall process, how it works, we have to have that the thinking ourselves, what it is, what if, what wows, and what works. So first thing is that for that overall visualization, so if you can see that it is that what it is, how we can say what it is, we have to understand, we have to map, we have to analyze, we have to map our mind, we have to do a lot of brainstorming to make what it is to what is. We have to develop the concept ourselves, and it generally comes in that process of that workshop. When we'll conduct, you will get that exact feelings that how it actually works. And so in what if, that means that if we do, then what? So if when that a lot of throughout our brainstorming process, a lot of ideas will come, then we will find it out among ourselves. It is not that I have given this idea. No, it was we all gave this idea. Now these ideas seems to be better at that particular point. Who knows that if some ideas, and there is a lot of examples that some few ideas were actually not taken care in the design thinking process, and finally those ideas become very popular. And I was witness of that many such situations. But that doesn't stop us. It was that jointly at that positions, all of us, we are deciding. So there is no one is superior than others. It is jointly we are deciding that based on that what is the possibilities, we will be working on these few concepts. And then we have to create the prototype. We have to understand that how the testings will be done, and we have to do the testings, and finally do the co-creations and launching. It is that the full design thinking process we go. And what I was actually discussing about the mindsets, as I told, this is that very important. And here we have to focus. These are, it is all by the people. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to believe in each and everyone. There, it doesn't matter who is there, who is in that workshop, but whoever is present, each and everyone, they have that one only quality, that they are human. So it is something like that human-centered. And we have to have that empathy to each and everyone. We will be practicing the same in the workshop. And in that mindset, we create, we accept, we react, we say yes, and it was what I was actually sharing. It was not something will not cut like but. It is not that no, this may not work. It is always yes, and. So this is the phrase we use, yes, and. And it is not something, okay, I have to be very calm like the dumb people, dumb person. No, it was not like. We have to tell what is in our mind. It is not that someone knows much better than me. We have to believe that. And it was something that also will not, all of us will not make a chaos. It was one by one process, right? It was in the design thinking mindset, it was we have to look after all the corner cases. We have to look after all the possible directions, and we have to gather whatever we have. And in design thinking mindset, it was we have to believe in that accumulations. We have to believe in that continuous process of gathering the ideas. It was that the process we have to follow, that we want to do something better than what we have. And it doesn't matter of that sometimes we face that a lot of problems in the design thinking process. A lot of many ideas it fails, doesn't matter, let us start again. So that's how that design thinking process it works. So what were the things I said? To be very specific: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So first part is that empathize, and then based on that we define, then we ideate among ourselves, we create the prototype, we test, and we deliver finally, right? It is so empathy, it is not that feeling sorry for someone. It is not saying, okay, so you have whatever you have, the problem you have, yeah, I'm sorry for that. It was giving them some solution to come up with that. It was to understand what it feels. It was here that the few pictures that we try to focus that what it means. It is looking closely, feeling what he is or she is feeling, what they are feeling. So it is sharing. It is not the sharing the sympathy. It is saying that I'm with you. We are with you. Um, in that empathy process, what we do, we try to understand, and we also ask a lot of questions to that people. We interview, and in that, here is that one example of how it actually works. I'll not go into the details today. Like that, we what we say that we interview people, like what the exact requirement they have. It was not. So here are the top 10 really bad interviews there for that initial process. It was only being interested in your own ideas. That we don't do. We don't ask the questions such a way, we don't frame the questions such a way that we need to know from each and everyone. It was not that something that will be not listening to anything. We have to listen. We have to. It is not that something, one topic is already given. We have to also understand what is that the circumstances, what is that the scenario there. We don't do that cell interruptions like that. Our body languages, we have to follow a proper body languages for all these interviews process. Otherwise, that the people we are interviewing, that empathy cannot be shown. It was something like that. Okay, I don't care. As I said, and in very of my early few points, that it is not for the it is not something that, yes, I don't care, who cares, okay, I'm very fine with me. No, it was not that type of attitude. It was, we have to show the empathy. So here are the few bad interviews point, and a few great interview points are: we should not be non-judgmental, we have to be polite, and we have to listen. We have to be, sometimes we have to be very much, we have to stay silent, and we have to question that, we have to formulate our questions such that it is something like that, no, okay, tell me something like that, if God exists or not. It was not something like that, but obviously also not very close-ended questions, only that yes or no. So do you like to have a phone that you can just put it in your two of the fingers? Is it you want that? Yes, I want that. No, that is not. So it has the questions that we'll be asking that has to be very meaningful, that will be we have to give the spaces. So those things we learn during our process. We have to do the empathy map. That is not possible in today's discussion, but in the empathy map, there are the few examples after the slides. You can see there are also that many suggestions will come from us. So all the idea will come from us. We have to group them. We have to group them based on our requirement. And these are actually never a priori decided. We have to understand that how exactly it is and what we have to do. Based on that, it can be decided. And so these are that a few examples that whenever will be, this is the example of a page that ideation session, when we'll be doing in that workshop, we'll go through it. Okay, so here are the rules I said. In one of the very important thing, that is the rule 1. Never ever judge ideas. It was, this will not work. In that case, that one polar bear collecting honey and removing that ice, it was, no one say this is a fantastic feasible idea, right? But it was not judged. Otherwise, that whole solution would have not been developed. So it was none of that participants in the design thinking process should have the responsibility to judge others. No, they don't have that responsibility. So we should not judge ideas. We have to also accept the wild ideas. And as I said, that it was that building ideas on top of one another. It was not that someone is saying that, yes, I know everything. Yes, he may know everything. And all of us, we are proud of that. But in design thinking process, we have to build the ideas all together. And it was what I was saying, that it was not like everyone is talking at the same time. It was one conversation at a time. Someone was telling and expressing his thought. He has given some time and he will be telling. And also it was not that formal that everyone is giving 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. It was the basic decency that if I have to talk, then when I'll be talking, and others will not stop in between. It was not like that the fish market that everyone is asking for everything. That process will be followed. And we have to be very concise. It was not something that we'll be writing the story. Yes, but we can write the story. But whenever we have to present to the others, we have to understand that as I'm tired of listening to each and everyone's detailed ideas, so they are also tired of me. So I have to make it concise and very much presentable. And we have to capture the ideas. And it doesn't matter that someone gave some idea and I am building on top of it. And actually that has to be done. One may say that yes, for suppose I want to solve a particular problem, that how to learn driving a car. And someone said, yes, you can think of some driving lesson. And others may say, yes, I know. So where do you actually stay? You stay in that particular region. I know that I also stay there, and I know that the 3 vendors who actually teaches how to drive. It may be that someone said something and others is building on top of that. It actually has to be. It was not something like that. Someone said you can have some teaching, and I have to say some different idea. Okay, then what should I say? What should I say? Something innovative, which is I can say, okay, you can take that lesson online. Online driving lesson. I didn't think twice. Just I have to give something different idea, and I have to say I'm superior, and I'm actually telling something. So in design thinking process, those are not actually allowed. It was we have to capture all the ideas and we have to build on top of that. We have to express our ideas, as I said. We have to do the prototype, we have to do the drawings, we have to do the sketches, whatever that capabilities we have. It was a lot of ideas will come and we have to accept that. So again, I'm coming back. What we have to do, we have to, based on the empathy mapping, we have to ideate. And from the ideation, many things will come. We have to create the prototype. On that prototype, we have to do the testing. Then we'll be having some mechanism. We have to have some feedback. So this is that actually. Empathy, define, ideate, prototype, test. It doesn't matter that from the prototype, we will not go back again to define. Yes, we can. We can always go if it is that requirement. So it is that very agile process we can do. So these are the steps. Again, I'm telling, it was the empathize. To create meaningful innovations, you need to know about the users and care about their lives. We have to define, we have to frame it properly. We have to, all of us, we have to ideate. We have to create a prototype. We have to test. So these are the steps in design thinking. And again, in different, so you can see that from 1, 2, we can go to that the other processes, and it was a continuous process. We can go from one to another. So final thoughts, it was everything. It's in the design thing, it is based, I like, I wish, what if. So it was that something that all the meaningful things I have gone through it, and we have to have love of that the idea and the design thinking and the process. And it was always, I will be having few wishes, and we have always that opportunity to make it better. So for this this slide, I have borrowed these slides from these other resources I have given here. And so thank you. And you just ask if you have anything. We have a couple of minutes with this. Thank you, friends.
Yeah, very thank you, sir, for this lovely session. And if anyone has any questions, you can ask, sir. You can comment it in our Google Meet chat section, or also you can comment on YouTube in YouTube comment section. Thank you.
For YouTube, I'm not very much sure, but how I'll answer. But if anything comes on that,
No, sir. I'll tell you the question, sir.
yeah. Thank you.
Dear participants, have you any query? You can ask, please.
Yes, in the chat, I got few of them. It was, yes, I can share my PPT. I'll be sharing to Dr. Banerjee and Dr. Banerjee. So it was that Surajit asked that whether I can say, I can share. Yes, I can definitely share. I'll be sharing. And sorry, I'm just going through it very fast. So if I missed anything, so please let others, let Dr. Banerjee or someone know, I'll answer. Tell me about the project you are most proud of and why. I was, inventor of in Samsung that cricket TV. It was initially it was my brainchild, and with the design thinking process, it came into a fantastic one, and it was very popular. So yes, I was very proud of it. And then Rishabh said that, sir, you can display again that what not to tell in the interview slides. Yes, I'm not sharing. Rather, I'm telling that. Oh, okay. What not to tell in interview slides? Yes, I'll be sharing the slides. You can take it from there. And these are the questions. You can tell me if I have missed anything. So
Yeah, so I think there are no more questions. Yeah,
yes,
so I'm sharing a feedback form to all of you in the YouTube comment section and also in the live chat and also in the Google Meet chat. So you can fill the form and it is mandatory to get your certificate. And now I like to call Anushka Didi for the vote of thanks. And it was a lovely session, sir.
thank you very much. Thank you.
I really enjoyed a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is Anushka Sil. On behalf of the Startup Club, I would like to thank all the respected professors, as eminent speaker Dr. Chowdhury, and the fellow participants for joining us in this session on this Sunday morning. And it was indeed a very insightful session because we got to know about the aspects of building a product, about the aspects of designing, what not to do, what to do, and the mindset which we should have. So, sir, it was really a pleasure hearing from you, and we look forward to hear from you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we are leaving, right?
Okay, thank you, sir, for your nice lecture session. We'll meet again, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. And we enjoy, obviously, all of us enjoy this session.
Thank you, Dr. Balaji. Thank you very much.
Okay, so with this, we can stop our session. Okay,
Yes,
participants.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
Thank
for
you to
this
everyone.
session. Bye-bye.
Hello, sir. Joy, sir. Hello, sir.
Yes.